Okay, let's get started. Sorry for the technical difficulties. So my name is Grace, and I'm the Product Marketing Manager at Charles. And I'm really excited to welcome everyone to today's Masterclass on the new power couple, how Charles and Klaviyo are joining forces to power up WORMLAND's marketing mix. So before we get started, can I see a quick show of hands of those who currently use WhatsApp to chat to their family and friends? So who uses WhatsApp? Oh, love to see it. And keep your hands up if you actually use WhatsApp as a marketing channel at the moment. Saskia, I see you. Anybody else? Awesome.
Not that many, so we're going to go back in with another crowd pleaser who is subscribed to a newsletter. Please raise your hand.
The WORMLAND newsletter?
And keep your hand up or raise it again if you use Klaviyo currently as your marketing tool. Amazing. All right, cool. Let's get started.
Good stuff. Okay. So firstly, to address the elephant in the room, I'm obviously not Damian. Unfortunately, he was sick today, so you're stuck with me. But I'm very excited to be here, especially living out my Britney Spears fantasy. So as I said, I'm Charles's Product Marketing Manager, and Charles is a WhatsApp marketing solution that enables brands to drive revenue, increase retention, as well as create unseen customer experiences through complementing your existing marketing stack with WhatsApp.
And I'm Hannah. I'm Senior Customer Success Manager at Klaviyo. For all of those who have not raised their hand just now, Klaviyo is an integrated marketing automation platform, which you can use to send newsletters, SMS, and all kinds of other sexy stuff like CDP functionalities, all these kinds of things. Basically, in a nutshell, with us, you can send the right message to the right person at the right time.
And I'm Tim. I'm the Managing Director of WORMLAND. And in a nutshell, what we do, we sell fashion, hopefully a lot of them. And we see ourselves kind of a curator for men's fashion. And you can find us in 12 stores here in Germany. And our journey was pretty interesting because the company, WORMLAND, is existing since 1935, so it's pretty old. But my journey, my personal story, and also the journey I had with WORMLAND started in 2019 when we had the opportunity to overtake the company. And at this time, the company made a loss of 5 million and on the revenue side of 74 million, which is obviously bad. And we thought, hey, we can do that better. And we thought, okay, how can we start? So we thought, from assortment-wise, if you do a multi-brand fashion, there are a lot of them, obviously. And we thought, okay, maybe the first step to get deeper into this would be to get our customer better. And then we looked at the status quo, and there was nothing, like literally nothing. We had no CRM system, we had no e-commerce, we had no digital infrastructure, and we had no culture to change that. So that was pretty bad for us. In the end, it was maybe also good because there were no stuck structures, so we just went ahead and we just did it. And this is where it all started, our journey, and we kind of evolved that to starting with paper and pen in the stores collecting lead, like the worst way possible, to a clienteling app with a lot of marketing automation going on, a lot of personalization and all of that stuff, and also a pretty cool onboarding process for leads, which I'm going to talk later a bit more in detail. And one thing I would really like to point out is that when we first started with our CRM stuff, we had no idea what we were talking about. Because everyone, also me, we never did that before. So we started from scratch. We had no idea. And so we just did it. This was pretty much our starting point. And we evolved that. Pretty cool, I think. And today we're going to show you like 3 pretty cool use cases, how we're using marketing automation with Klaviyo and also WhatsApp marketing with Charles to intensify our communication with our end consumer. So and we can handle it on our own. So I'm good to go with these 2 guys. So
So we're also really excited to be here together with Klaviyo because up until this point, email and WhatsApp have been very much separate for a really long time, and only until recently did we see the value in combining both of these really powerful channels. And yes, anything to add?
Oh yeah. To be fair, these channels have kind of been competing even before, with email having clear advantages, like being a bit cheaper than a WhatsApp channel, like having wider reach, like you can reach way more people. You have better segmentation by integrating your tech stack and all of these kinds of things. But WhatsApp has like clear advantages as well, that with our integration we kind of now combine.
Absolutely. Yeah, and of course we wouldn't have gotten you all here today if we didn't have the solution to this challenge, which is now we are joined. We are the new power couple, WhatsApp and email, Charles and Klaviyo. And here we really combine audiences, your customer data, the technology to enable you to grow long-term revenue, build stronger relationships, as well as add power and cohesion to your marketing mix. So we're going to deep dive into what this all means in the scope of WORMLAND's experience.
So yeah, I just mentioned in the beginning that we do have a pretty cool onboarding process because we started with paper and pen, and obviously that was bad. So we thought we would evolve that to forms, like regular forms everybody knows. But we found out that only 10% of our customers will give out their telephone number. So we thought, hey, it might be pretty cool if we would just have a conversation within WhatsApp, and from there on, like synchronize data to our CRM system. So it's like you have a conversation, and especially if you do have like brick and mortar stores, this totally makes sense because it's hella fast. The customer can do it on his own, pretty much, so they don't need any assistance for that. And from there on, pretty much leads and accounts are created. So this is how we use, or this is a use case for us, to collect leads in our brick and mortar stores. And I think this is pretty cool, and there's also some more stuff going on, but I will talk about that later on.
Yeah, I mean, the consent synchronization is one of the crucial parts of the integration. So collecting consent, streamlining consent for both of your channels to make sure that they don't cannibalize each other. So because that is what most marketers are kind of afraid of. We collect email consent, but how do we get them to consent for WhatsApp? Or we get their WhatsApp opt-in, but how do we get them onto email? So yeah, basically synchronizing these contacts from Charles to Klaviyo as well as from Klaviyo to Charles streamlines this process. Yeah, makes sure that you get consent for both of them. And there's multiple ways to do that. There's definitely the conversation bit. Then you can use Klaviyo sign-up forms, for example, ask for email address and telephone number, and then trigger flows from Klaviyo into Charles that go into Charles journeys, which then start an opt-in conversation on WhatsApp to be super GDPR compliant as well.
And the cool thing, it's working. It's actually working. Because we were like, we used some other CRM system in the past too, and this just, it didn't work out. So this is working. I can assure you that.
Cool. So once you have collected your subscribers and you've collected your opt-in base, of course, we want to then start sending out campaigns. And what's really great about using both Charles and Klaviyo is that you can use Klaviyo's powerful segmentation to power your WhatsApp campaigns. So this means that you can reach your really engaged customers, for example, or as you can see some examples here, maybe some customers that were previously engaged with email but are no longer engaged. Or also, you could send a campaign to people that aren't currently subscribed to WhatsApp, an email campaign, and collect those subscribers. And we're boosting ROI because naturally when you're sharing audiences across both channels, you have a much bigger pool of customer data. And there you can start to send these heavily targeted messages to these customers with on the right channel. So maybe it makes more sense to send an email or WhatsApp in other cases. And Tim's going to talk about a really cool example of that.
Yeah. So what we did basically, I think your most important flows when it comes to email automation will be abandoned cart. Obviously, it will be browser abandonment, and it maybe will be back in stock flow. I think you might be firm with those things. And basically, what we said was, what would be if we take those flows, but not send it via email, but trigger a webhook within Klaviyo, which is triggered in Charles, and this one will send out the exact same thing, but via WhatsApp. So this is what we're currently doing, and you can do it like for everything. We thought we might be wise to implement it for the revenue side. So, and it's working out really well, to be honest. So the most successful one right now is the abandoned cart flow, actually. And yeah, this one is also working really well. And what we also did was kind of play with something we would call conditional split. So if someone already received an email and opened it and bought something, they don't really need a WhatsApp, right? And from there on, you can segment in Klaviyo that someone that received an email and opened it and bought something won't receive in a WhatsApp, and vice versa also. So you can really put your whole marketing automation together and get like the best out of it. And it also looks nice, to be honest. We were having a little chat before because you see this little CTA where it says, jetzt zum Warenkorb. This was a huge challenge, and it took a while. But now it's there. I know it's not for you, but for for Charles, it was a pretty cool thing, and it's working out really well, and it's like visually also appealing. So this is also really important to us, and it's working seamless. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome, and WhatsApp makes a lot of sense for this example particularly, because if you think about the way that you text your friends through WhatsApp, like if you're maybe always on WhatsApp like I am, and therefore it makes a lot of sense for these time-sensitive messages like abandoned cart, and you can really generate this feeling of FOMO, like, oh my god, I'm going to miss out on this cart. Let me click on this dynamic URL to have a look. Yeah. So WhatsApp in itself is a really rich interactive channel. So you can set it up for it to be a two-way conversation. So not just sending out messages in the same way that for email marketing, for example, you can also expect a response. And through WhatsApp, you can actually create some really cool campaigns like product finding flows like we did with Oatsum, or also some fun games like we did with WWF. And what's really cool about these is that all of these responses are actually stored as tags, which you can then use and collect to build audiences and inform your future campaigns, your future WhatsApp campaigns, and your future email campaigns. And so you'll manage to collect all of this really great customer data kind of subtly in a way that it's not so obvious that that's what you're doing, and use those for campaigns. And similar for your opt-in flow.
Yeah. Correct. That's right. Okay, so what we're also using Klaviyo as, I'd say, like we try to use it like single source of truth, and we try to implement a lot of other systems to it. Like pretty cool one, because if you're having like retail stores, I don't know, does anyone have retail stores? Can you raise your hand? No one? Oh, one. Okay, cool. Two. Okay. For you guys, if you have physical retail stores, I know it has been kind of a struggle to import your historic purchasing data from your POS system. And we just found a pretty cool way to like easily import it to Klaviyo. I know it's like not online only, but yeah, mostly. So we find a pretty cool way to also implement and also to synchronize all of the historic purchasing data of the last 4 years. So we have a hell lot of data in it. And also we use it for our customer care, because we're currently using Zendesk. And we will be also using it in the future. And all of those custom events like ticket open, ticket resolved, is everything synchronized with Klaviyo. So you can see it within the person's profile if a ticket has been opened, after that if a purchase has been done or anything else. So those custom events are also synchronized, which I think is pretty cool also to do marketing with it. As an example, if you have a ticket that is still open or is escalated, you wouldn't be wise to send an email newsletter one day after it. So you shouldn't do that. And from there on, you can like play with it. And also, what we will be implementing, like I think tomorrow, will be influence.io because we didn't have something like a loyalty engine before. So we thought, okay, we definitely need that, especially when you want to like double points or if you refer to a friend and get 50 points for that. So kind of a gamification. So gamification stuff in the end. This whole stuff is put together in Klaviyo and synchronized with it. So I think this is pretty cool.
And integrating data into Klaviyo or integrating all these kinds of different tech platforms sounds like a lot of dev work and sounds really tricky, but most of the times it's actually not. So Klaviyo, as of now, I think integrates with more than 300 tech partners, 300 different platforms like loyalty platforms, customer service platforms, as in Tim's use cases, shipment update platforms, all these kinds of things. And if you centralize these kinds of data points in your Klaviyo account, you can severely level up your segmentation, and then use these different segments, use these conditional splits and flows, either for email marketing or if the preferred channel is WhatsApp, then for WhatsApp.
Yeah, and one cool thing, when I talked about in the beginning that we had this onboarding journey where you'd ask your forename, last name, email address, etc. What we also implemented via the webhook thing is that after you typed in your personal information, we synchronize it with another platform which is called Pass Creator, and from there on we sync it back to Klaviyo, and from there on we send out wallet integration, so you don't have to do a channel split, and if you're in your journey you get your link directly within WhatsApp, and you don't have to jump into your email program. So I think this is also pretty cool as a identification. Yeah. Yeah. And don't forget, WhatsApp is a two-way street. Those are pretty fun examples of how customers react to WhatsApp. Because also, if you try to use it in a commercial way, people will think that it's not commercial, and they will actually try to respond to something. So especially when you send out newsletters, people will actually respond like, what's the opening hours of Munich, or something like that. So you can like get in touch with them and interact with them. So this is pretty cool. And also some feedback is pretty hard because someone said, hey, your website isn't working, it's loading too long. And we're like, okay, shit. Then we just send them a checkout link afterwards. So we didn't lose that kind of customer. So people really interact with the platform and also interact within WhatsApp, and I think this is a pretty cool thing. And also what we're doing, this is a pretty new thing that we are currently working on, is we call it local marketeers, because what we are seeing is that in our brick and mortar stores, our sales advisor don't have any marketing approach. They sell stuff, obviously, but they know their customer really, really well. So we thought it might be really wise to give them a marketing platform and to interact with the end consumer. And we did it within the Charles backend because the UX, the UI is pretty cool. So it looks like a phone, actually. And from there on, you can just synchronize it with your shop, whether you use Shopware or Shopify or many more stores.
Many more.
Many more. You can just easily drag and drop products into the conversation, and it will be sent to your end consumer. And they can easily just click on a link. You can add a discount code or whatever, and they will be directly redirected to the checkout page, which I think is pretty cool. And we will be using that in the future for our so-called local marketeer project, where our sales advisors will become local marketeers and actually interact with our end consumer, and not like marketing department somewhere 500 meters away, or so. Like the real deal, kind of, that our sales advisor interact with the end consumer. So I think this is pretty cool, and we're trying that out currently with Charles. We tried it with Klaviyo before, like the template builder, but it didn't work out. So we're trying the more expensive platform now. So I think this. So I hope this will be
Pretty
it will work
unique
out.
Use case as well.
Yeah, I know.
Tim, come on. We just made up. We just made up email and WhatsApp, and now you're starting beef again.
I try to. No, those are like the use cases. If you want to sum it up, kind of, First, we use it for lead collection because we don't have to ask our consumer what's the telephone number because it will be synchronized automatically, which is pretty cool. The second step is when you do like the conditional split thing, so that when someone didn't open their email, we can at least send them a WhatsApp. So that's pretty good. Then personalization stuff when it comes to abandoned cart, browser abandonment, especially back in stock flow. And like the last thing I'd say is the very personal one-on-one communication approach. So just to sum that up, those are the 3 use cases we're currently using.
Cool.
So now I would expect everyone that raised their hands earlier who said that they're using WhatsApp to scan this QR code that you see here and take an interactive journey into what it actually looks like through your phone. And also some of the use cases where we can use both WhatsApp and email, Charles and Clavio.
Mauricio, you also. You have to scan it.
Yeah. And of course, if you want to learn more, you can come by our booth. Tim, are you going to hang out at our booth?
Yeah,
a bit?
I will.
Okay, so you can ask us any questions. Or does anyone have any questions now for us?
Come on, don't be shy. Someone has to start.
Any questions? Okay, Tim.
Oh, we
there's
got one.
Yes.
Oh, we need a microphone.
Oh, we didn't prepare for this. There we go.
I have one question regarding the WhatsApp model. So do you need to, is it the interaction? Do you need to pre-program every answer, or how does it work? If a customer replies, how do you make sure that you give the right answer?
Yeah, maybe I can do it from my point of view. So what we're currently doing, we do have some bot things going on, but not too much, because we think when it comes to customer care, it needs to be one-on-one. So from there on, we give them one-on-one answers. So they won't be stuck in an annoying bot situation, so we would just give them one-on-one answers. And this worked out really well. We tried to do some bot interaction within Zendesk, and we failed big way. This was another thing for our customer. They wanted like quick answers and like one-to-one answers. So we tried to do, or we had the idea to do it, but we skipped it because we think like when it comes to customer care, it needs to be one-on-one.
And from the Charles side, if when you're doing these automated conversation or marketing flows, you actually have the option to give the response. So if you try the flow, you'll see. But you can say, you know, tell us what's your favorite animal, cat, dog, fish, and then they just have to press the button and it sends the answer and the flow continues. So, yeah. Hopefully that answers your question. Thank you for asking. Does anyone else have any questions? Yeah.
Yeah, we have. Oh, yeah.
Oh, another one.
On the way.
Hello, my name is Pablo. I used to work in retail for some time. Sorry. And it was very interesting to see the implementation of omni-channel in 2015. And as I worked for Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
So this kind of situation that you are talking about right now, it seems to me similar. So congratulations on that for pioneering retail. And I'm very curious to know, one of the trends since some time in retail and in the fashion industry is personal experience, and also the opportunity for to get loyalty to within customer database. What new opportunities do you have with these new channels to get into interaction and to personalize the experience with their sales advisors, maybe? Because from what I understand, the communication through these channels is not really giving you the opportunity to create the relationship or to maintain the relationship with your sales person. Thank you.
Not yet. The answer to that is currently it's not. There is we don't. So the project Local Marketeer has the goal to have like this one-to-one conversation with our sales advisor, but it's not like that yet. But what we do when it comes to transactional things, we send the bond afterwards. We just send the bond number to the end consumer. And from there on, we will be in the future like doing different profiles for every local marketeer. And then the consumer will be like redirected directly to our sales advisor. So this will be the goal one day. The challenge is to get the interaction fast enough, because obviously they have something to do in our retail spaces, and our business model is a bit different to maybe Louis Vuitton, but they're under stress, under pressure when they're in retail. So I think the main issue with that would be like the interaction and how fast can they reply to that. But what we're also doing, which is pretty interesting when it also comes to interactional stuff, we also store every purchase and every number of purchase within Klaviyo also. So they can just look anything up. If they're lost anything, if something, I don't know, if they're, the pants weren't good enough or were too tight or whatever, they can just easily come and they can easily just write us a message and they say, hey, I will come back, and they will easily be synchronized with the person account within Klaviyo, so we know what he bought or she bought in the past. So this is pretty synchronized, like vice versa in every way. So this is our approach. We're not there yet, but we're trying to.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question.
I think we have two more, right?
Two more questions?
There was one in the back as well.
And there's another one.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Hi, thank you guys very much for the presentation. I'm working in email marketing already using Klaviyo for our clients, and I would like to also adopt Charles as a platform to help with WhatsApp marketing. And I was curious, in Klaviyo we often use like things like dynamic codes to send to our clients. How far will we be able to also use these kind of variables in Charles?
So Mauricio could probably answer this better than I can, but you're able to send them through to Charles. Depending on which way that you use the integration, you can either connect Klaviyo flows to Charles journeys, so there's a trigger within the Klaviyo flow, and through then you can also pull in the dynamic variables into Charles and use those within the WhatsApp messages. Also the same way that we would do the dynamic CTA that we saw, that Tim showed us.
Yeah, and we also had the idea of putting some of them into the customer metrics. So if it's not changing a lot, you can use that. So we used that for the beginning of webhooks, so it worked out. But from now that we can use custom events for that, you can just easily. But what would be your idea?
Yeah.
What kind of code? What would you like to do?
Hello? Yeah.
Hello.
For example, the dynamic discount codes would be something I would like to integrate into flows and then just keep sending via WhatsApp. But I think, as far as I saw in the presentation, first name, last name is already able to synchronize across both platforms.
Yeah. But you can just easily like synchronize your product code or your voucher code within Klaviyo, like mass thing, like 10,000 of them, and then you can just use it as a custom metric, and from there on trigger the webhook.
Okay.
Right?
Amazing.
Cool. Cool.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank God. Okay, and then we have
and a last one.
Last question.
Oh, another one.
Second to last.
Also, for any other questions, just meet us at our booth later on, and we're happy to answer them.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Thank you for the presentation. I spent some time yesterday at Charles and Klaviyo's booth, figuring out all the cool things that you guys can do together. And so it sounds a little bit like, especially for Germany, onboarding a tool like Charles is overcoming this burden of not having access to people's phones. We know that, for example, in France, people are much more used to receiving updates through SMS, but not here in Germany, right? And assuming that the onboarding of clients via WhatsApp is working well, which is what I heard yesterday and what I hear now. I'd be curious to hear from you, Tim. How are you exploring like other ways to onboard more people? And first, is it working well or not? I assume you're sending out flows via Klaviyo because you have your email addresses. And how are people responding to that?
Yeah, it's a fair question. on the one hand side, we're using Klaviyo Forms within our website, so this is working out pretty well. But we thought it might be a good idea to, within the stores, to use this kind of setup, because you get so much important information when someone stands right in front of you. And you can just easily say, hey, just type in your phone number, just, sorry, we don't need the phone number, your first name, last name, email address, and maybe also your street, where maybe some of the forms, people will exit the form. And when someone's standing right in front of you, we can just easily collect those data. So this is working out really well. Other forms of collecting leads right now are through, obviously, Klaviyo Forms, and we're also using meta forms and synchronizing them with Klaviyo. This also works when you do have like a promotion. But those are basically the 3 ways we collect leads right now. Yeah, it's pretty basic, to be honest. But yeah.
Cool. I think if this was a watch show, they would be playing the music right now to get us off the stage.
Getting angry. Sorry.
But if anyone has any other questions, please come by and see our booth. We'd love to chat with you. And yeah, cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.